Hi, this is my midterm assignment, and my topic is HIV testing, and my audience is mixed gender teens in Tanzania. Hey everyone, my name is Gage Clow. I am a student of global health and biology at Arizona State University, and I wanted to come here today to talk with y'all a little bit about HIV testing and why it's important to get tested, know your status, and protect you and your loved ones from HIV. So, before I get into the sort of logistics of testing and what it all means, I kind of want to just thank you for being here today. It's great to see people, especially younger people, taking control of their sexual health, and I really appreciate it, so thank you so much. Additionally, I just want to say that anything shared in this space, I want it to remain confidential. I want everyone to make sure that any information shared will feel safe and comfortable, and I want to make sure that this space is a very safe and comforting place for anyone, regardless of anything going on in their life. So, with that being said, I'm going to talk a little bit about testing. So, I want to start off by saying that anywhere in the world, there is no cure for HIV. But there are great treatments available for anyone who is HIV positive. So, one of the reasons that getting tested is so important is because a person can't access treatment without getting tested positive on an HIV test. So, getting tested and knowing your status is very important to protecting you and your loved ones from HIV. Additionally, a reason why testing is so great is because other than testing, there's no way to tell if a person has HIV. So, using testing, a person can find out, it's the only reliable way a person can find out whether or not they have HIV, and they can access these great treatments that I was talking about if they test positive. So, that's why it's great to get tested, know your status, and protect you and your loved ones from HIV. So, a little bit about the actual testing process itself. Testing is fast and free and confidential, which is just kind of a fancy word for meaning that it can be a secret if you want it to be. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about each one of those. So, testing here in Tanzania takes only about 20 minutes once blood is given. So that means that you can have, or a person can have their test results very quickly after going in to get the HIV test done. Additionally, it's free. Most clinics in this area offer free HIV testing, and with that in mind, there's really no money reason not to go get tested other than like transportation. And lastly, testing is confidential, which means, and this is great for people who are teenagers like you guys, testing, you don't have to tell anyone about your status unless you want to. And there's nothing wrong with being HIV positive, but if you're worried about others, you don't have to disclose it. It's between you and your healthcare provider. So that's why it's so great to get tested, know your status, and protect you and your loved ones from HIV, because it's fast, free, and confidential. So with an HIV test, talking a little bit about how it works, HIV tests take a few drops of blood, and they test it for the presence of HIV antibodies, which is basically just our body's response to HIV. And if you go get tested, or if a person goes to get tested, they immediately get counseling and help if they end up testing HIV positive with a clinician. They're available for anyone who needs it. So the support that a person may need if they end up testing HIV positive is available. So that's part of the reason that I think it's so great to go get tested, know your status, and protect you and your loved ones from HIV. A little bit about how testing results work. So a person who goes in for an HIV test will either receive a positive test or a negative test. So a positive test just means that there are HIV antibodies in the blood, and that means that that person can start accessing the great treatments that I was talking about earlier. And a negative test means that there aren't any HIV antibodies in the blood, which basically just means that a person should avoid any further risk and come back and get tested in 3 months' time in order to ensure that the test didn't necessarily miss anything. So basically there are only two possibilities for how an HIV test can come out, and both have great outcomes. So it's great to get tested, know your status, and protect you and your loved ones from HIV. One thing I like to mention before I go is that HIV, everyone deserves an HIV test at some point in their life, and more than one if a person is sexually active. And I think that if everyone deserves to be able to go get tested and know their status so that they can protect themselves and their loved ones from HIV. Thank you so much for listening to me today, and I hope you have a great one. Thanks.